Alright, so let's get to this first one. So 23 divided by 15. I mean 1, 15, 8, point. So it's a 0, bring it down. So 5 would be 75. 5, 0. Looking at 3, which is 45. And here's our repeating number. Right? It's going to be 3 again. So we know it's going to be 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. Final answer 1.53. Bar notation on 3. 14 over 27. Numerator goes inside. 27 goes outside. 0 doesn't go into 14, but it definitely goes into 140. I have no idea how many times. Maybe 4. No, 5. And 27 times 5 equals 135. 5 is fine. 5 equals 135. Uh-oh. Subtract, you have 5 left over. Guess, and then it's going to be a, sorry, put a 0, put a 1. So it's 2. 54. Definitely not 2 then. Sorry. So that's 1. So it's 27. I have 23 left over. Bring a 0 down. So that looks like about 7. 27 times 7 equals 189. No. 27 times 8 equals 216. I think 8 looks like a good number. So 8, that's 216. We have 14 left over. Bring a 0 down. 27 times 5, that work? 135, yeah. Okay, oh, okay, so we obviously know what's going to be the repeating. So 135, you notice that this part here and this part here is repeating again. So I'm not going to even do the rest. So we know it's going to be 518 again, 518 again. So a little bit better be 518, bar notation on the 518, because that's going to be the repeating part. Okay. Number dos. Sam read, some read spent, right? We changed that to spent. So 1/8 on allowance on shoes, 2/5 of it was on grocery, 3/7 was on bills, and what's left over would be how much she would spend on books. So let's see how much she spent so far. LCM is, yuck. What's the LCM of this? 56 times 5. 280, really? Ugh, yuck. Okay. 280, 280, 280. So this would be times 35. So the top's going to be times 35. Divided by 5, it's going to be 56. So that's going to be 56, 112. And the last one, 280 divided by 7, is going to be 40. And it's going to be times 40 on top. So we're going to get 120, right? So this is, so that's how I get. So let me add this, and we get 280. And if we add 35 minus 112 plus 120, we get 267. So that's the fraction. So how much, what's left for her to spend on books? Obviously, it's going to be the difference. So 280 of 280 would be the whole of our allowance, right? So we're going to subtract that. So this is going to be 13 over 280 is the fractional part that's left for her to spend on her books. Okay. Número 3. A pool has this much water, so here's a swimming pool. Okay, and it already has some water, and we have 34.5 gallons in here, and it's water's pouring in at a rate of 12 3/4 gallons per minute. So after 20 minutes, how much water is in the pool? Well, it's going to be what's inside plus how much water went in. So let's calculate the 12 3/4. We can change that to 12.75 if you like. Okay, and we're gonna multiply that times 24. So you could have done that as a fraction. I'll choose this because I think it's easier. So 306 gallons went inside this pool after 20 minutes. So it had 306 mass 34.5. So you're gonna have a total of 340.5 gallons after 24 minutes. Okay, and 4. It's not as bad as I thought. So backyard measures. So, so the area of the backyard is 25 1/4. He wants to use 3/5 of this to plant corn. How many square yards are left to plant the tomatoes? So, well, 3/5. If 3/5 are used to plant corn, that means 2/5 of it will be to plant tomatoes. So we need to find what 2/5 of 25 1/4 is. So we can get 2/5 times 25 1/4. So ladies and gentlemen, you can change this to a fraction, sorry, to a decimal, where you would get 0.4 and then multiply by 25.25 if you like, or you can leave it as that. It's 2/5 and multiply by, let's change this to an improper. 4 times 25 is, I don't know, 100. 101 over 4. And so the choice is yours. I can simplify this. 1 over 2, so it's 101 over 10, right? 1 times 101 is 101, 5 times 2 is 10, and that's going to give us as a mixed number 10 1/10. So how many square yards are left to plant the tomatoes? It would be 10 1/10 square yards left to plant the tomatoes. So maybe actually in this case, fractions would have probably been a little bit faster. Okay. And if you multiply, and if you did it by fractions, what do you call decimals, and you multiply 0.4 times 25.25, you get 10.1. If you multiply this, you get 10.1. And notice that this and this means the same thing. A tub of ice cream. Who buys tubs anymore? Does anybody buy tubs of ice cream? So we got 3.5 gallons, and we know. So 3.5 gallons. How many 1/5 gallon servings are in here? So we're gonna divide. Times, right? So 6, 7.5 times the reciprocal, and we get 7 times 5 is 35 over 2. 2 goes 35, 17 times and a half. So we can get 17 full servings of 1/5 gallons, okay, and a half. 5, we're running on 5, 6. Distance between the two junior high schools is 7 3/8 miles. Between 194 and 666. The bus company wants to put a bus stop every 4/5 of a mile between the two schools, right? So how many bus stops will there be? So let's divide. It's a division. So how many of these, right? Because imagine that's 7 3/8 of a mile from here to here. So we're gonna put a bus stop over here, another over here, another over here, right? Every 4/5 of a mile. So we have to figure out how many bus stops there are. So it's a division problem. Let me change. 56 plus 3 is 59 over 8. We're going to multiply by the reciprocal. We're going to get 5 over 4. Can we simplify anything? Oh, gee, we can't. So it's 32 at the bottom. 45 goes 4. 295 over 32. And I have no idea what that is. Maybe 8. 32 times 8 equals 256. So 8 bus stops we can. So let me just see. 32 times 9. No, sorry. We can go one more. So it's 9. So because 32 times 9 is 288. So we can get 9. 288 subtract, you get 7 over 32, so that's not going to matter because you can't have a fractional bus stop, but we can surely get 9 bus stops out of this. Okay, not that easier than I thought. So rectangular playground. So a playground, the area of this playground, okay, is 184 and 1 square feet. And the width of this is 20.5 feet, so we're asking for the length. So here's our mystery. So area equals length times width, right? So the area we do know, which is 840 over 1/5, which is length that I don't know times 20.5. And we're going to divide both sides by 20.5, and eventually you get that the length that you need to find is 840 and 1/5 divided by 20.5. So, how do you want to do this? Well, you can change the decimals if you like. 840.2 and then divide that by 20.5, or do it as a fraction. So, either of them, they're really ugly. So 840 times 5 equals 4,200, 4,201 over 5. And we're going to divide that by 41 over 2. Again, the reciprocal. Let me just take it on this side. 4201 divided by 5 multiplied by 2 over 41. Anything we can simplify? Yuck. No, it doesn't look like it. So on top, we're going to have 8,402 over 205, right? So that's okay. We got to change that to a, you don't have to, but just in case the multiple choice question doesn't give you your answer as an improper fraction, you have to change this. So how many times can 205 go into there? So 8402 divided by 205 equals, so 40 times. So 205 times 40 equals 8,200. So definitely 40, and you're going to have 202 left over 205. So the length of that is going to be this. Okay, feet, not squared because it's just distance. Okay. Ocho. Johnny has 3 boards measuring 8 feet in length. So he has one board, and this is 8 feet. Another board, which is also 8 feet, and one more board, which is also 8 feet. And he wants to cut the boards into 2 3/7 feet. How much leftover will he have? Ooh, this one is a tricky question. Okay, because you can't assume that he has one long board of what do you call, which would be 24 feet, right? But this one you can cut, and cut and cut and cut and cut because it's continuous. Well, whereas here, you got to be careful. Okay, so how many times can this go in here would be the question, right? So 8 feet divided by 2 3/7 is the same thing as 8 divided by 14 plus 3, 17 over 7. Yeah, and then 18 times 7 over 17, which is 56 over 17. And 17 can go into 56 3 times, right, which is 51. 5 over 17. So if this measures 8 feet, right, and you want to cut it into 2 3 feet, 2 3/7 pieces, you can do that 3 times. You're going to have 1, 2, 3, and you're going to have a little bit left over. So the real answer would be, well, you can have in every 8 feet board, you can cut 3 of these pieces that measure 2 3/5. So you can have 3 over here, 3 over here, and 3 over here. So the answer will have 9. The leftovers, okay, would be this. You're going to have 5/17 left over in each of these boards. Alexa, stop. All right, so the leftovers is 5 over 17. Right, you're going to have 5/17 left over here, 5/17 left over here, 5/17 left over here. So we're going to multiply that by 3, and you're going to get 15 over 17 feet left over. Okay, so this one's a tricky question. Careful here. 9. To make 1 loaf of peasant bread. I love peasant bread. 3 1/5 cups of flour needed. How many cups of flour needed for 4.5 loaves? Well, yeah, to make 1 loaf, that's what you need. So therefore, we're gonna multiply this by 4.5. This one is simple. 16 over 5 times 9 over 2 simplify. 1, this is 4, so we get 36 over 5, which would be 7 and 1/5 cups of flour are needed for this. Okay, pretty straightforward question. Número 10. What was I thinking? Okay, so 28 and 2/5 pounds of ham. You're gonna give this away to your parents, and then you're gonna give this away to your neighborhood, and then whatever left over, you're gonna divide it by 4. So this looks like this as an expression. So we gotta find this out first. Yuck. La 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 la. So how can we do this? So to make it easier, well, you can subtract and then subtract again. Trying to cut corners here. I guess there is no cutting corners, huh? So let's just, yeah, let's just do this. Okay, so I'm going to change everything to an improper fraction. Okay, maybe that's not the best. Hang on a second. I'm not. I'm just going to go. Yeah, I need to find the LCM between all three, right? It's not really gonna matter. Let's do that. So the LCM between 5, 6, and 7 is 210. Yay! Such a nice number. So that's still gonna be 28. That's still gonna be a 5, and that's still gonna be a 9. So times 42, right? It's times 42 gives me 210. So here's going to be 84. 210, how does 6 become 210? It's going to be times 35. So times 5 on 35 on top is 175. And times 30, so this is 180. Okay, and it's still in parentheses. I divide all that by 4. So let's subtract these two first. Okay, so I can't, so this is going to be 27, and this is going to be 210 plus 84, which is 294. So this is going to be 294 over 210. Now I can subtract, right? This one was this one. 27 minus 5 is 22. I'm going to write it over here. 294 minus 175 is 119 over 210, right? I took care of these two. Now I have to subtract 9, 180 over 210. And again, I have to do some borrowing. So this is going to be 21, and I'm going to borrow and a whole, right? Remember, it's 210 to over 10, or you can just add the denominator to the top. So we get 119 plus 210 equals 329. So my new fraction after I borrow becomes 329 over 210, right? So let me just write this. So I can subtract now. 21 minus 9 is, I don't know, 12, is it? Yeah, it is 12. Now I subtract the top. 329 minus 180 equals 149. So after you give all the ham away, you're going to have this left over. And you're going to take the 12, and I'm going to write over here 12, 149 over 210, and you're going to divide that among 4 of your friends. Ugh. Okay. This is going to be some ridiculous number. Okay, so hopefully now we have to do 210 times 12, which equals 2,520, plus 149 equals, so we're going to get 2,669 over 210 times, the reciprocal is 1 over 4, and it's going to be, again, 2,669, and 210 times 4 equals 840, right? Let's see, 840 times 3, will it go? 840 times 3 equals 2,520, yeah. So if you simplify and change this to a mixed number, it's going to be 3. 840 goes into 2,669 3 times, and leftover is going to be, hang on a second, times 3 is going to be 2,520 minus 2,669. You're going to have 149 over 840 of a pound. So this is how much each of your 4 friends will get. I promise you, you will not get this problem with this ridiculous of a number. Okay. 11. Taylor used the following on the school project: 25.5 yards, 70 of greens, feet, 900 inches. How much is left over in feet? Ugh. If she started with 187. Okay, so let's figure out how much all this is in feet. We gotta change all that into feet. Okay, so I know that 1 yard is 3 feet. I also know that 1 foot has 12 inches, so I'm gonna work with those ratios there. So 22.5 yards. If I want to change it to feet, I multiply it by 3. 22.5 times 3 equals, so that's 67.5. Second one, 78.35, it's already in feet, so I have nothing to worry about. And then 900 inches, I want to change it to feet. So I'm going to divide 900 inches divided by 12, that's going to give me 75 feet. Oh. Okay, so I change all these 3 measurements into feet. 85.15, equals 1320, carry 2, 21, 22. So 220.85. How much is left over? She started with 186.79. Obviously, that makes no sense because she used more than she started with. So this question definitely has an error, and the error is this. Okay, so you don't have to do, actually, you don't have to do that part too because I obviously messed up in this question. All right, but if you got this far, it's fine. 12. Uh-oh. 12. Last year, the heaviest pumpkin weighed 222 pounds. That's real. Tammy wants her pumpkin to break the record by at least 1 1/3 times as much. All right, so that was last year. So Tammy has the intention of growing a pumpkin to be 1 1/3 times bigger than that. So let's see how much that's going to be. So if that was last year, and you want to make it, and you want to see how much a new pumpkin for this year is going to weigh, you're going to multiply that by 1 1/3, 2, 2, 2, 2, and I'm going to multiply that by 4 over 3. Okay, so if she wants to break that record, and break it by a lot, the new pumpkin is going to be 8,888 over 3. Does that? I want to leave it as a fraction because we're still not done. Okay, so let's just leave it like that for now. So her new pumpkin will weigh this much. Okay, because I have to do this division part. So the new pumpkin weighs this much, which is about 2,962. Which is, okay, so if you multiply this by 2,222 times 4/3, and you get, if you did it, and the decimal format would be this. Okay, but because we don't want to deal with, we don't want to, work with a repeating decimal, I'm just going to leave it like this. We could have changed to a mixed number, but I'm not, because I'm going to have to change to an improper fraction because I'm going to have to divide anyway. So imagine the pumpkin, which is this much, which is obviously considerable more than last year. She's going to use 3/5 of that pumpkin to make pie. So how much of this new pumpkin would she use to make pie? So we're going to multiply that by 3/5. This crosses out nicely, and 8,888 divided by 5 also will work out nicely. It's going to be 1,777.6 pounds will be used to make pumpkin. Will be what she's going to use to make pie. Okay. All right. So it's not that bad. 13. This is just a, what do you call? What do you call, decimal problem. I'm just gonna pause this for a second. Okay, I'm back. Not that you noticed, but I was hungry, so I had a pizza and ramyeon, Korean noodles. So let's see what Kim does here. She wants to watch. She bought 2 Diablo, so 2 of these. You can multiply by 2. The new Mac Pro, which I really like. Two tickets to Australia. Oh my god. We're gonna add all that up. Add all that up to see what her expenses are, and then let's see if she has any leftover money, which she can then use to buy the Beats by Dre, right? So 462.84 plus 462.84 plus 2,434.84 plus 1893.11 plus 1893.11. That's going to give us a total of $7,146.74. And guess what? She's going to have some left over. Right, so if you subtract that from 10,000, 0.74, we're going to have a leftover of 2,853.26. And we can definitely buy some headphones here, which, by the way, you get them for free if you buy a MacBook Pro or MacBook Air. They just throw one in for free for whatever reason. So 2,853.26. We can divide this by 349.95. So the objective here is to make sure that you remember the procedure, which we want to make this into a whole number, right? So we're going to move this 2 over. So that's going to be 34995. And move this 2 over, and that's going to give us 2853.26 and 2853.26 divided by 34995 is going to give us 8. Okay, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's going to be 8 dot something else, and for sure we can buy 8. So the final answer to this question is you can buy, or she can buy, 8 headphones by Dr. Dre. That's how much leftover she's going to have. Okay, with the leftover, the 2,853, you can buy 8 of these that are priced at $349.95. Okay. 14, the German Shepherd weighs 50 and 1/4 pound. The Beagle weighs 3/5 that amount. What's the weight of a Beagle? So we're gonna take. So I guess if I write it like this, I'm gonna take 3/5 of 50 and 1/4, right? So that stays. 3/5 stays. Let's change that to an improper, which is 201 over 4. Is there anything to simplify? Yuck, no. That's 20, that's going to be 603. So 20, it's going to be 30 times, right? Because that's 600, so it's going to be 30 and 3 over 20. So the Beagle weighs 20 and 3/20 of 320 pounds. Actually, it's a heavy Beagle, right? Kind of chubby Beagle. No, it's much lighter than that. So there's maybe 2/5 would have been better instead of 3/5. Okay. 2 more questions. Oh, I gotta put. So here is your bonus word. That's how he spells it. Extra. No. Forget how they spell it. This is where I bought my pizza, which I just ate 10 minutes ago. It's a place called Extra Cheese. There's no E. Okay. Actually, it's been around for a long time here in Flushing. Pretty good place. So next one. Here, so this is your bonus word. The length of a rectangle is the length here is 1 7/9 inches. The width is twice the length, so this width here is 2 times 1 7/9, right? So we want to find the area and the perimeter. Oh, okay, so let's find the width, because the width is 2 times. So if I multiply 2 times 1 7/9, it's going to be 2 times 9/16 over 9. It's 32 over 9, okay? Which I am going to leave as a improper fraction, only because we're probably going to work with it again. And 1 7/9, I'm also going to change that to an improper fraction. An improper fraction would be 10/16 over 9, which I should have done first, which automatically, look how much easier it would have been for me to double that, right? So the length is 16 over 9, the width is 32 over 9. I want to find the area. So area is going to be length times width, so I'm going to multiply 16 over 9 times 32 over 9. And I'm going to, can I simplify anything? Oh, no. It's going to be 81, and at the bottom is 16 times 32, 512. And you know what? I'll leave it like this. Inches squared, so that's the area. Now, the perimeter is going to be 32 over 9. And this is going to be 16 over 9, right? We're just going to add everything up. It's 32 over 9 plus 32 over 9 plus 16 over 9 plus 16 over 9. So it's just 32 plus 32 plus 32 again, right? Because it's 16 and 16. So you're going to get 96 over 9. So the perimeter is all the sides added up, and you get 96 over 9 inches, which, because it's just a distance, it's not squared, okay? You can change this to a mixed number. I'm not. Okay, but that should have been fine at the same time, okay? And I think we're in the last problem. No, we're not. What? 2 more, that's not bad. 15% of the jelly beans are red, so 15% are red, 2/5 are blue, and 3/10 are pink. And the remaining is 270. How many are blue? Gee, so let's figure this out. So this, let's figure out what this is. That's 15%. This is 40%. And this is 30%. So these three numbers, 40, 70 is 85%. So 85%, right? 85% is red, blue, and pink. Now, the 270 that are orange represent what? 15%, right? Because that plus that equals 100. So how many are blue? Well, let's find out how many we have in total. So you can use that percent proportion here. I know that, so it's part over total, percent over 100. 15% represents 270, what are we talking about? Jelly beans. So 100% we represent how much? We can find a relationship here. Is 270 and 15? Is 270 divisible by 15? Yes, it is. Times 18. So I'm at the bottom, I times 18, which gives me 100 times 18, 1,800. So that means there were 1,800 jelly beans to begin with, and we want to find how many are blue. Blue is 2/5. 2/5 of the total is blue, so I can get 2/5 times 1,800. You're probably better off in this case changing 2/5 to 0.4 and multiplying by 1,800. Either way, you're gonna get the same answer. Okay, and you get that this is equal to 720. So answer the question, how many are blue? 2/5 of 1,800, and 2/5 of that is 720. 720. La, 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 la. We have one more question, I believe. Oh, yes, diagrams. So here's my rectangle, right? My little universe. Okay, and inside my universe here, I'm going to create 1, 2, and 3 eggs. Let me erase this one because it's pretty ugly. More. We're going to call this English, French, and German. 62 students were surveyed about the language they spoke. It was English, French, or German, and 2 speak none of the 3 languages. So that goes out here, right? I cross that out. I don't think I need this guy anymore. What else can I do? 8 speak all 3, so definitely can use this. That's gone. So 8 goes right here in the middle. And after that, I would look for this, right? Where 2 overlap. So be here, this region, or this region. And if best if I can look for clues that have only, because those are really nice. There's one here. 12 speak German only. 12 speak German only would be, and the German would be here. They don't speak French and they don't speak English. So that's German here. That's the area that represents only the German-speaking people. Awesome. Gone. Is there any? Yes, there's one more only clue, and it says French and German. French and German would be this section right here. 11 speak French and German only. So great. They're here. So 20 speak English and French. English and French is this section here, but it doesn't say only. So if you spoke another language besides English and French, it wouldn't matter, right? It wouldn't matter because as long as you spoke English and French, that would have been fine. We're not saying only, so you're not limited to those 2 languages. So 20 speak English and French. I already have 8 people who speak English and French. So 20 minus 8, I need 12 more. So that 12 would go there. What can I do next? 40 speak at least 2 languages. So I know this area where the 12 is, this area where the 11 is, and this area that's empty has to add up to, actually, sorry, it says at least. So even the 8 counts in here. So if you spoke 2 or more languages, you're good. So it'd be this section, maybe I should highlight it. This section, this section, this section, and this section. So those 3 sections added up together has to add up to 40. So far I have 12, 8, and 11. That's 20, that's 31. So obviously from 40, that's a 9. So that's gone. 33 people speak French. So in the French circle, which is right here, which is these 3 regions, 1, 2, and 3, have to add up to 33. So what do I have here? Again, I have 31, 12, 8, and 11. Good. 12 and 11, 31. And I have to add up to 33, so the difference is 2. And then 20 speak English or French, but not German. English or French, but not German. So English. If you speak English, raise your hand. If you speak French, raise your hand. If you speak both, doesn't matter. So I want those people would be here, this section here. English or French here. And this section. Anybody in these 3 areas would be the people who would qualify. You don't have to speak both. If you do, great. But if you speak only one, that's great too. So the total of these 3 areas have to be 20. So I have a 12 and a 2. So that adds up to 14. Subtract from 20. And I get 6. And that's that. That wasn't that bad, hopefully. And that's it.